Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heal, Align, and Thrive show again. Today's show is very special. And let me start with the simple and little surprising. We can live days without food, and we can live hours without water, but we cannot live even a few seconds without breathe. And yet, it is the one thing we do every moment, but almost never do consciously. And most people don't even realize when you breathe is shallow, your mind becomes harder and stress become your default setting. So today we are not talking about complicated wellness. We are talking about the simplest tool you carry 24/7, your breath. And here is where it gets even deeper. In our Vedic, our yogic, breathe is not just seen just air. It is seen as a prana, life force. That's why ancient practice of breathing exercise not as a fitness but as a way to regulate the mind, body, and the inner energy. There is the timeless inner truth repeated in the our Vedic, our um, culture. What we are searching for outside is often restored from within. And breathe is the one of the fastest and safest way to come back within. So modern science now confirms what the sages already knew. When the breath becomes conscious, the body receives a signal. I am safe. So today's episode is not a trend, it is a return to the tool that can change your state in minutes, in few seconds. So today is the Heal and Thrive show. We are driving into the something we all do every day, but rarely understanding deeply our breath. Our guest is Yukti Raj today, founder of the Yuktiness Breathe Wellness in Abundance and a passionate advocate of breathing fitness. After spending 14 years in corporate world, Yukti found herself battling lifestyle, disease, stress, and anxiety. I can understand completely because I came from the same background. And despite eating well and exercise regularly, that's when she discovered something life changing, the transformative power of conscious breathing. What started as a personal healing journey became her life's mission to help detox people, the body, and the mind, reduce stress, and unlock vitality through the power of breath. Through workshop, personalized coaching, family wellness program, Yukti is on mission to help 100,000 people harness their breathe in to live a calm, healthier, more aligned lives. So today we are going to explore how something simple can be so powerful. And when we conscious our breathe, when we start consciously breathing, how it's suddenly changing our life. It is not just changing life for for health. It is also today's days manifestation. Everything we do, that we do the visualization, but if we are not aligned with our breathing, nothing works. So today we're gonna go deep in. So let's welcome Yukti Raj to the Heal, Align, and Thrive show, and I'm your host Preeti Kank. Hi Yukti, welcome Yukti.
Namaskar. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Preeti, for your invite and giving me this opportunity to share what have been my journey and if any ways I can be helpful here. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Yukti. So before we start questioning, I just want to know that, you came from almost 14-year corporate life. I came
Yeah.
from the same background. We can see the stress, anxiety all over the place when we do, work in our corporate life. There is a lot of things which is sometimes we not align with that. And
True.
then we decided, okay, it's a kind of, I will say that, completely change, turning point in your life, whereas you have a settled corporate life, everything goes well, but not feeling aligned. And what was
True.
the turning point in your life when you say, okay, I need to step back, I need to see my, breathing, how can I, I need to fix myself, or I need to be go with my passion?
Yeah, so yeah, there have been multiple turning point that kept me turning. So the one turning point in my life happened when I met with an accident while driving back to my home from my
Mhm.
office in the evening. It
Mhm.
was 6 p.m. and while driving back, I met with an accident. I was hit by a fortune runner and I was lying in a pool of blood. My two-wheeler was on the road and severe acute pain. Somehow, with the help of people, those who are going on road, they helped me to take me back to my home, and their doctor told me that I have to undergo surgery and all. So long story short, from there it all started, and I realized that. In those moments when I was all alone and broken, where I realized that I was seeking every day
Mhm.
that who is gonna call me, who will be, will I get today my this friend call, or will anyone will visit me.
Mhm.
I realized in those moments somewhere I realized that no one but I have to keep myself this promise to take care of myself. No one else, but it is my life, it is my health, and I am my highest priority. And that shift happened from them because I realized that even after I did, just taking medicines, physiotherapy for my leg, and have undergone a surgery also was not sufficient because I thought that as doctors told that once my surgery will be done, I can do everything. But when my surgery got done, I realized that there is a difference between my both the knees. My left knee was not healthier, and only I could make it out, and I was a little bit limping also. And doctor said after 2 3 months it will be okay. But even after 2 3 months, I could feel a little, vacuum sort of in my knee, left knee, and that's where I realized, no, I have to do something. And then I had a lot of health issues, vitamin D less, all those things, thyroid, severe migraine, 24 by 7, 365 days, and many more, panic attack, anxiety issues, all those things. But then I realized that no one else but I have to take care of myself. That was the first turning point. And second
Mhm.
turning point happened when I was undergoing physiotherapies, and I come across a coach who was a gentle person, and he said that Yukti, you are breathing wrong, and that's the reason you are having so much stress. And I was shocked, completely taken aback. In fact, I was laughing in my mind that how can this person talk like this? I am an engineering graduate, MBA, XLRI pass out, and no one told me yet that Yukta, you are breathing wrong. And I have been running behind doctors from allopathic, homeopathic, Ayurveda, various therapies, sujok, cup therapy, needle therapy, all those different acupressure, acupuncture. No one has ever told me that, hey, you have to look into your breath. And I was also doing yoga and pranayama also, but and some other kriyas and a lot of other things. And I was so taken aback that all these years I've been doing this, but no people has told me, none of the person has told me that my breathing pattern was dysfunctional. And actually I was at that time reverse breather completely. And that was again a very awakening point for me that Yukti, what you are doing with your life, you are just following your doctors, you are taking medicines,
Yeah.
whatever the doctors are doing, you are doing those kind of an exercise. But what you are doing for yourself, that was a big question for me. Then I realized that if breathing is something that is not correct in me, this pattern is dysfunctional, let me try to improve it. Let's see what will happen. So with no hope, because I have already invested a lot of my time, energy, efforts, money in all other modalities,
Mhm.
therapies. I thought I wasn't sure, but I thought, okay, if this person is saying something that is very science backed, and this is the only person in my life who has told me that I am breathing wrong. So let me just try it out, and that's where my journey started with breathing. That was the turning point in my life. Yeah.
That's awesome. I think you did 99.9%. I will say that we breathe wrongly. Even
Yeah.
now, after I also do the breathing coaching and myself. Sometimes, like when I was stressed, I just feel that I just start watching my breathing. I start reverse or either
Mhm.
shallow, breathing. So I think this is a very nice point someone pointing out, because mostly we even not thought like, no, okay, breathing change something. We are just taking as a, okay, we are taking air, oxygen, we are just breathing
Yes,
out. So but we don't
exactly. That
focus
was
on that.
my thought process
Yes.
earlier.
Yeah, so that's so when we talk about for breathing, in your experience, most of these days, most of people after COVID, there is a lot of depression, lot of stress, and then people get aware about for their health wellness. As you mentioned, you are doing a lot of yoga, you are also doing a lot of exercise, but and even people start eating well, but still feel stressed or sick. What do you think they are missing on this whole point? When they are eating well, they are also doing the exercise. Yes, at one point, as you mentioned, like, reverse, we mostly do the reverse breathing. But what else, like, in breathing as a coach, you see that mostly you see the people, right? What exactly they are missing on that?
So see, I tell you, how is your health? If you imagine your health, what are the pillars on which it is? So
Mm-hmm.
one is your diet, nutrition, exercise. Another
Mm-hmm.
pillar you can say is your diet and nutrition. Another is your exercise, physically, functionally. And then your the one pillar that is missing is your breathing. Breathing is the missing pillar of your health. No amount of nutrition or exercise can help you if you are breathing wrong to overcome, especially your stress, anxiety issues, plus keeping your keeping sickness away. And when I say sickness, I doesn't mean by fever only, because that's what I mean to say that illness, that is a lifestyle related diseases, any kind of diseases for that matter. See,
Mm-hmm.
if you are someone who, as you have very well said, that most of the people are breathing wrong, shallow breathing, and when we are becoming emotionally hyper, our breathing takes a toll, and we are not even aware of.
Yeah.
When you are angry, you are shallow breathing. When you are grieving, if you are carrying a lot of grief, you are having spasm, heaviness, breathlessness issues are there. So that's called your spasmodic breathing. Depression, you underbreathe, you restrict your breathing. Guilt, all these emotions impact your breathing, and you, without being aware of, your breathing is taking a toll. And then you're imagine if you're someone who is not properly breathing, if you're only breathing through your chest, or shallow breathing, heavy breathing, spasmodic breathing, restrictive breathing, all these are the different breath practice breathings and dysfunctional breathing patterns actually that people are not even aware of, and unconsciously they are breathing. It impacts their cellular health. Why? Because your health is nothing but a, see, we are made up of cells.
Mm-hmm.
We are made of cells, and these six cells is reproducing. They are making sick tissues. Okay, and if suppose we are not providing, what is the function of oxygen that we are taking? It goes into your cells, and cells need them for functioning, metabolizing, everything. So creating more energy. If this oxygen is deprived,
Mm-hmm.
cells become sick. Any cell 48 hours, 35% less oxygen if you are giving to any cell of your body, it becomes sick, it becomes dysfunctional. And this is a research data that I'm sharing with you. I will repeat again for people to make a note of it. 35% less oxygen for 2 days, 48 hours, and your cells are becoming dysfunctional, sick. And these sick cells further reproduce, and they will make what? They will make tissues. And
Yeah.
these tissues further will reproduce and they make what? Sick organs. And that's how any lifestyle related diseases are developing in your system without you being aware of, and only thinking that health means good exercise and good nutrition only. What will sick cell do with the good nutrition, it if it cannot absorb it? If you are a
Mhm.
sick person, can you eat a very, delicious food? No, you are avoided to eat or heavy food or very delicious food. You cannot digest that kind of a heavy food, right? Heavy or good nutrition food also you cannot digest. When remember when we were having fever in our childhood, our parents used to give us very dal kind of a soup and all that,
Yeah.
no heavy
Right.
food like
Yeah.
paneer and
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Right? So you cannot survive if you are not good taking care of good breathing. Another myth that I find a lot of people think that breathing means pranayam se hoga 10 minutes in morning if I do pranayam, or 20 minutes if I am doing kriya, that is sufficient. So
That
I
is.
am very encouraging to promoting any one particular breathing practice. This comes from a lot of trying out various different practices and years after trying, I would say years after trying that if do not get trapped with any one breathing practice and that is only good. I would rather say that work on this mantra: breathe right and breathe consciously 24 by 7. If you can build this, if your dysfunctional breathing pattern
Mhm.
becomes your default right breathing and conscious breathing pattern, I would say you are a winner in life. If you can just master breathing consciously and right through 24 by 7. See, you are breathing anyways 24 by 7. So if you are
Yeah.
doing something in the morning, somewhere around 20,000 plus breaths you are taking in 24 hours. If you are only working on 1,000 breaths for some 10 minutes and 15 minutes, what about those rest of the 19,000 breaths?
Yeah.
They are somewhere going dysfunctional, somewhere you are not aware of, and somewhere it is compromising. And that's where
Mhm.
people become more reactive because they are not aware. They don't know how to stay calm in chaos. I have been a very short tempered person, but thanks to breath and awareness. So, I always keep on asking these two questions and it keeps coming. And a lot of people even come to me and they ask me that Yukti, how can we develop this 24 by 7 breathing practice, like 24 by 7, how to breathe right and consciously. So it's a very in a very playful manner. I have, in fact, whatever my experience has been, I've shared in one of the course program also, in our 21-day breathe fit challenge. But all I want to say is that if you are just consistent on one thing, that how am I breathing now, how am I
Mhm.
feeling,
Yeah.
okay, how am I breathing now? So these two questions are the biggest mantra, I would say, that I follow for myself and I give to all my students also. Like, keep on asking yourself throughout the day, how am I breathing now? Where is my breath? Is it in my belly? Is it in my chest? Heavy? You will understand. And the moment your breath goes heavy is a sign that you're emotionally also you are completely, not aligned, not grounded in that moment. So in those moments, it is very easy for anyone, if you know that, oh, my breath is heavy, just calm down your breath, breathe in and breathe out into your belly, calming breath, few grounded breaths, and that's it. You can stay calm, you can gain your focus as well as confidence. In the worst condition, chaos, whatever is happening outside is not going to impact you ever.
No,
Yeah.
that's a completely agree, Yukti. Because too few things we get with that when we are focused. What I experience with myself. First, when I talk to even my client, I say like, okay, close your eyes just to monitor where is your actually pain. people is not able to understand how can I find out where is in my body stuck my pain or grief. I say like, okay, just focus on your breathing. And when they focus, after 1.5 minutes, they're okay, I feel in chest stuff, like my breathing
Hmm.
stuck in chest, or I have in my stomach I feel that. And then they realize. And the second point, when you, as you mentioned, like, when we breathe consciously 24/7, there is a two thing happen. When one is, as you mentioned, like, we focus, we breathing, we are actually clear that what we are doing. The second point, who has a lot of overthinking, I just give them simple word like, okay, go and check, just monitor your breathing. Just
That's
whenever
it.
you feel like a lot of thoughts coming, just focus on your breathing, or just try to like this too, and then focus on your breathing. It kind of
That's
anchoring in LLP. We said that, like, this is, I mostly tell them, like, anchoring, go with the breathing, just monitor.
true.
So I think this is the, as you explain, like, if you reduce your breathing, you don't monitor, you don't watch your breathing, if you do less breathing, how impact, like, and that's why we build a lot of diseases. And
Absolutely.
in one yukti, a lot of things is I see that, like, what exactly breathing fitness when you say, and how is it different from simply taking deep breathings? As you mentioned, like, there is a lot of breathing patterns, right? So today, if you go online, everyone's saying do box breathing, and either, like, 4-7-8 breathing. But there is a lot of difference, as you mentioned, like, I just want to go a little bit depth on to understand what is the difference, why is we need to have a as you mentioned, different pattern for breathings.
So I honestly say that I, along with my community, Wellness Abundance Hub, I don't teach people breathing
Mm-hmm.
techniques.
Mm-hmm.
I teach them the kind of, I help them to generate this wisdom that how you can apply breathing in your day to day life to handle situations like if a person is stuck in traffic jam, then they are breathing to stay calm. Before any meeting they are breathing. Then for running, my runners, I have in my community runners who are running 42-kilometer, 21-kilometer,
Uh-huh.
45-year-old ladies are there, and they use breathing to get into the flow state. Okay, and they don't listen any music. One of my
Yeah, I
student,
think that's
Dr.
a big thing.
Pratiksha,
We, when we
yeah, Dr.
walk, we just listen
Yeah,
something.
Dr. So yeah, that's what. So so Dr. Pratiksha, she's a runner, 42-kilometer marathon runner. We have Lakshman with her also, and they are runners, and they keep running. And one day I asked Dr. Pratiksha, "You must be listening to some music." She said, "No, Ayuti, I just breathe." And they're completely run in the zone. We call it as a runner's zone. When you
Mm-hmm.
are running with breath, it is, and you get into the runner zone, and that's how they are building their fitness, by using their breath. They train their nervous system, their lungs, and 80% depends on your brain and your lung capacity. If you are into fitness, you can, you are what you think. Simple.
Yes.
And
Same.
you can train your mind with your breath. Your body has a limitation, but your mind doesn't have any limitation. So when I say this breathing fitness, it is about how you can keep yourself fittest level, physically, mentally, emotionally, all three.
Wow.
Physically, mentally, emotionally, all three levels, you are fit, and you are living in a superhuman age reversal mode, breathe fit lifestyle. That's what I call it. Yeah. So how I can use fitness like breathing into my workout,
Mm-hmm.
the various workouts. And we have a very different kind of a workout that is not in India many people know, because I'm trained from Slovenia, Europe, in one of the practices that is called Nirvana Flow. It's a combination of Pilates, Tai Chi, yoga, breathing yoga with breath and music, and then your mindset ritual. So it's a very powerful, it's like syncing your body, mind, and breath with the music. So that's a very, very good workout You can tone your body. Like people ask, weight loss hoga kya breathing se? I would say yes, come and practice this. This is not a very known form, but yeah, nirvana is a very powerful. Nirvana flow is practices, I say there, a very powerful form. And every like we do it in Thursdays. Usually we do it. It's a part of it, and it also improve your cellular oxygenation. And that's a lot of, there is a lot of science behind that, like how to improve your diabetes. So I, that is a one stop solution, I would say. Once people start following that, then they see, I personally have seen overcoming my stress anxiety issues too. When I started, running 21-kilometer barefoot, I was using my breath and then doing surya namaskar. So namaskar itself is a very powerful breathing practice. It's a body breathe workout if you are completely aware and do that. Not taking asana as a just thought process. It's a flexibility, more of a flexibility and only for women kind of a thing. But I would rather say it prepares you. In fact, it prepares you for breathing, not the other way around. And even in a lot of yoga classes also, breathing has not been given it a due importance during the practice also. That means, okay, so that all things are little lag. If you see, we have 8 limbs: yam, niyam, asan, pranayam,
Mm-hmm.
pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. These are our 8 limbs. And asanas are only preparing us to for the higher level of component, that is your breath.
Yeah.
Prana ayam, that is controlling your breath. And a lot of people come to me and they ask me, Yukti, I'm having asthma, I'm having these issues, and which pranayam practice I can do, because they are so ignorant, because our health and wellness system has not given breathing its due importance. It has been always, I feel that, sideways kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Pranayams are advanced practices. Pranayams are advanced practices. See, you can, if you do pranayam incorrectly, it is like you are harming your own body. Pranayams are like pneumatic tools that can use to cut the rocks. Now imagine if you are doing it incorrectly, it is harming your lungs, your internal body more. And that's the reason you can find that people who are having wrong posture, wrong breathing patterns, they are having more of a aches and pains in their various body part, back pain. I see a lot of people when come to me, their postures are very wrong. Sitting postures, standing postures are very wrong. Slouching is happening. Hunch is there at the back. Their
Yeah.
feet are not balanced. All those things. So that impacts a lot your
Breathe.
breathing and vis a vis. Okay, and there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of science that even your breathing impacts your posture, your jaws,
Yeah.
your nose, your whole facial structure also changes. So yeah, that's the thing.
No, no, that's a beautifully you explain ke we are always think about for as if I feel that I just take one small thing like you could deep breathing and then yes it is help for some minute, but it is not your way of life you cannot always if you are in office when I coaching I'd say if you are in office you need to find some quick way, right? If you are consciously breathing, right, that will help you, right? But
Yeah.
we are more going on prana, like yeah.
So what I would say is you're 24/7 breathe through your diaphragm.
Yeah.
That's it. That is a deep belly breathing or diaphragmatic breathing. That should be your default breathing pattern. And then
Mhm.
over and above, so I have people, directors in my community, those who are sitting in, they will come back and tell me, ma'am, that there was a that because they are mostly 2 to 3 hours in the meeting, and
Yeah.
they are keeping their eyes open but still diaphragmatically breathing. So it's
No,
about the
that's
practice.
awesome.
It's about the whole practice. It's just the mindset shift that starts happening, that you become so aware. Okay, see, I'm talking to you, but I'm aware that how am I breathing? It
Mm-hmm.
is coming in my belly or not. So that's how, even you are working anything, whatever you are working, cooking, anything you are doing, the more awareness if we keep on bringing. Look, shadiyon mein, I know that people are practicing breathing in marriages also. Like They are just sitting, they're just
Yeah.
watching TV, watching. Then, and while going through aeroplane, one of my students, and when people come with all these experiment, because I encourage people to do a lot of experiment, and it is very, very interesting that, ma'am, I was breathing when I was even in shadi. I was still breathing even though I was attending, and I felt good before, because I always say that before you have food, please do practice breathing for 10 minutes at least, if possible. At least few breaths you must take, because it is good for your digestion. So they are in a habit of this lifestyle now. One of my students, she was very scared of going via aeroplane, and she's in
Oh.
Agra, and her husband wanted to go to Goa on a New Year, and she was not ready at all. But then they all convinced her, and when she came back, she was so happy, sharing that, ma'am, when I used to travel by plane, I used to feel very nauseating, very, very nauseating, vomiting, and very nauseating. I used to feel, but this time I just kept breathing. When
Mm-hmm.
we started, and when while landing, I just kept breathing consciously, diaphragmatic breathing, and nothing happened to me, ma'am. Okay, so
Oh, that's true.
how we can generate this wisdom, that where and when I can apply to improve my condition. I have people, those who are underwent surgeries, and to overcome their pre-surgery and post-surgery stress, and to improve their healing, they were practicing breathing. Their
No.
whole family was worried, but they were practicing breathing. And this lady is Radha Suresh. She's 53 or 50 plus around. And she has
Mm-hmm.
undergone two major surgeries. One is kidney surgery, and another one is brain tumor surgery.
Wow.
And her recovery has been miraculous. Like, doctors were even very surprised. She has undergone two surgeries back to back, and within 6 months, she has gained in strength. She was climbing stairs, and then after 6 months, she has even done 108 chair Surya Namaskar with us. And next 6 months, she has done, I think, without chair only Surya Namaskar, 108 Surya Namaskar.
Wow, that's
So
a powerful.
everything is possible once we start giving more and more importance to breath, and you will create a complete new self, a fearless, limitless self, I would say. That's the miracles of breathing that will start happening.
No, that's a true. I will give my example. I have a allergy from colors. Like, if there is a lot of painting going, I get. I was used to get panic whenever I go
Uh-huh.
to. So then once, like, I started all this, and then one day I went. Just I had that color. I just saw that, like, the smell there, a lot of. But this time I just focus on breathing. I said, like, this is just 1% impacting me. 99% is my breathing and my mental part. So I actually survived there. This is not I get so much as otherwise I get like my hand got shaking, and as like lot of allergies coming, my nose gets stuffy nose.
Mhm.
I got a little bit in the stuffy nose. I will not say that completely, but it was not that bad. Like, it's like 1% or 2%. So
Awesome. See,
but
that's the
as
win.
and I had surgery few months ago for my arm, and when I went to surgery, I was very calm. It's okay. That's okay. Whatever. Even if after surgery, the medical system is here different. Like, they send you immediately back to home. That was a lot of pain, but I think the breathing is the key, and that is help. Like, as you mentioned, I was very surprised. Like, the two big surgery, kidneys and brain tumor, is very big surgery. And I
True.
think this is a example, I will say, that, like, very unique example to how can she just
Yeah.
so she recovers so fast, and it's not just a recovery, she gains
Yeah.
strength. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Gain strength physically, mentally, emotionally,
Yeah.
before surgery, after surgery. And I have so many such stories that gives me goosebump.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to share one more
Yeah,
story?
yeah, 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 sure.
Just to inspire people, those who are watching this video? You'll be surprised. There's this person, Jagdish Ji. He's a very thin, lean person, little bald, and he came to me. He was 60 plus, 66 or something, 66 plus, and he came to me. Can it help me with the heart issues? Because my doctor has told me to undergo a heart surgery. I'm already on
Mm-hmm.
medication. I was already on some 22 medication at that time. I said, see, look, breathing will certainly help you, no doubt about it, but I can't assure you how much time it will take. You have to give it a time and practice. 6 months at least, you must keep it for practice and get results. To my utmost surprise, and I still remember that day when he shared it in our community call, and it gave me a literally goosebump. He joined on 30 November 2023, 14 December 2023, not even 15 days completed, just 2 weeks. And he shared in our VA weekly recharge circle in our community call that, ma'am, my reports have come, and surprisingly my जो parameters हैं for on which the doctor has said to take the surgery, they have come down already. So my surgery has been postponed. My blood thinning medicines have been reduced only in 14 days. But I must say that he also very uh, wholeheartedly he practiced. He's
Yeah,
a businessman. He
aware.
sits on his, on his shop. He has a shop, and he goes there. But he was practicing very diligently right conscious breathing throughout the day, like 2 hours, 1 hour. He was consciously aware, and he was practicing with eye open. Of course, not all the time he can keep eyes closed, but that has given him immense good result also.
No, that's a completely agree. Like, it is not just even any healing start with acceptance. Okay, I have this and awareness. When you're aware, you do that, focus, and then you just get healed. We have very less time, so I just want to ask you two questions more. One for, we have a lot of emotional health issues, right? People's getting that. How can simply they can detox, emotionally detox with the breathing, like both body and mind, and how does like in simple way, simple in regular life, if they can feel any heaviness or stress there, how can that any breathing or any how this will help them, because this is emotional detox is like important. I always say that if you are emotionally strong, you can become a physical strong, but if you are weak and emotional but physical still strong, it will not work. So it's like emotional detox and emotional strength is very important.
Yeah. So I would like to say that build this habit of asking yourself, how am I breathing now? And how am I feeling now?
Mm-hmm.
Most of the people are disconnected. And in fact, I have been the one. When my mentor asked me, how are you feeling, Yukti, in one of the sharing circle when I was in Bali attending and getting this conscious breath, I said, I'm blank. I didn't know how to recognize my own feelings, and that's very much there. Usually, when people are, "How are you doing?" we always say, "Good." How are you feeling? I'm feeling good. But how am I feeling? Am I happy, sad, frustrated, feeling rejected? What is my emotions? And we are just actually running away. So I would say the practice that firstly just sit with yourself. That's the most difficult thing, sitting
Yeah.
with ourselves. Yeah. Just sit with yourself, observe your breath, how are you feeling, and then go deeply into your body also. Feel that where is that feeling you are feeling, and maybe you can just do little massage, okay, or just tap this area, tap that area, or just do the massage. That will help you. Then another practices are there that can really help you to detox or release these emotions are your stimulating stress. That means, but I would say that initially you must practice it under proper supervision, so that a person, based on your health condition, they can give you. So it actually works in a three gears. If I have to share, it is nose inhale, nose exhale. First gear, second gear we do nose inhale, mouth exhale, and then third gear we do is mouth inhale, mouth exhale, and there are certain breath holds also do. But that's a whole process. It's a little bigger process, but it's a very powerful process in releasing their emotions. And people, when they do it online and offline also with me, I keep doing these events. I have another one also scheduled in Bangalore offline. So they completely dissolve, in fact, most of the time. And to the unknown, basically we are very fearful to step into the unknown.
Yes.
Yeah. So kya hoga, and we want everything right. We are like control freak.
Yeah.
We become control freak. We want to control everything outside, but to
Inside.
avoid our internal mess, actually. So
Hmm.
sitting with our internal mess is really very difficult. I would even suggest you that you can start having a little writing practice, journaling practice also. Two things you do every day. That this is something I have learned, and it has been very helpful for me. Like, uh, what I am good at and what
Mm-hmm.
is the area of improvement, rather
Yeah.
than pulling ourselves down and feeling I'm not good enough. Always appreciate yourself first, and then just simply say, okay, how can I figure it out? If you're facing any challenges, instead of saying that, oh, I'm not good enough, how can I figure it out? So that has amazingly worked for me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think this is a simple exercise, but it is very powerful. You can do
Yeah.
anytime. Um, I will simply say, like, where you mentioned, like, respect to yourself. I always say that I was had one client. She was saying, "I'm doing mirror therapy on almost 1 year, but it wasn't work." And I
Mhm.
just simply said, "Okay, when you do the mirror therapy, what do you do that time?" She said, "I just have affirmation. I read it and write it." And I said, like, okay, one thing you will do that before mirror therapy: sit for 5 minutes for yourself and see that how you're feeling, what your thought, how much you just go inside, and then you do the mirror therapy. I will say, like, I will not say that you are doing 1 years, but like do one these things. And after 2 days she called me, actually texted me, and she said, I cannot sit with myself for 5 minutes. I said, like, if you cannot sit with your 5 minute, how you are thinking your mirror therapy can help you, like, right? Because you are
So
just sitting there, you are not able to sit with yourself. It meaning you are not somewhere respecting yourself. I would say, like, these days we are saying self love. We go,
Hmm.
and all that, but you
I
can
would
do
say, the best gift anyone can give to themselves is fall in love with your breath, to rise with
that.
your breath. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
think that's a simple way to explain, but this is the actually self-love. I will say that
yeah.
if you love,
The,
focus
yes,
on
the
your
best
breath.
self love that you can do is, yes, love your breaths, pay gratitude to your breaths, and um, send yourself a lot of love notes by breathing consciously. That's all.
Mhm.
So these are
Yeah,
like your love notes. You are When you are inhaling and exhaling, it's like you are sending a lot of love to yourself,
yeah.
being present and feeling that happiness, contentment, peace with your breath.
No, that's true. So I think it's a time already passed. So thank you so much, Yukti. One before we leave, I just want to know that what is a little bit about talk about for your program, because what you do, like how you engage the client, where the people can find you on your social media or app, or if you can explain a little bit and a little bit go depth on your program, because this is, I felt like, if people understanding breathing, they will understand their life, because life
Absolutely.
is as we looking Guru Granth Sahib or our Vedas, what is when we left in this world, what is actually not there is our breathing.
Yeah.
So this
So
is
we inhale and we take breath, and last exhale, we are no more alive.
yeah.
And in between your inhale, exhale, your whole life lies without you being taking
Yeah.
care of your breath and taking your breath as for granted. But now, if this podcast has somewhere resonated with you and you are the one who would love to explore breathing with me, I would love to welcome you. And my mission is one. Okay, as I always say to everyone, my health is my highest priority. I am my highest priority, and that's what I want to seed in every person, with a mission to live a superhuman age reversal mode breathe fit lifestyle. And when I say this, yes, I truly feel this, I abide by this. That is extreme level of fitness. You must have, like, my idea is till 100 years I'm doing 108 Surya Namaskar. That's my idea. And I have students who are 66 age old, also young, any 66-year-old also. When they come, they were very having lung issues and all that. But now they are doing 108 easily and effortlessly. So what I want to say is age is just the number.
Ah,
It is just the number. You hold the power in your body, in your mind, in your breath. And when you master this art of your body, mind, and breath, you become superhuman at all levels, physical, mental, and emotional level. So, my level one programs are more focused on helping people to overcome their challenges using the breath and the breathe fit lifestyle. My breath champion program is where they use breath to getting into that completely superhuman extreme fitness, physically, mentally, emotionally, as well as spiritually also. And there are various modalities that I have learned from my mentors in abroad as well as in India, that I teach into these programs. There's a lot of accountabilities there. Even relationship mastery is also the part of our program. Like, we have aligning our chakra, relationship mastery, detoxing our body. So there's a whole planner. The yearly planner is there, that we will do this particular practices this month is dedicated to these. And then there are flow challenges are there. There's a dedicated apps are there. You can download our app Yuktiness from the Play Store, and in iPhone also. You can, from that store also, you can download. You can check out our Instagram pages, Yuktiness, YUKTINESS, as well
mhm.
as Yukti_Raj, and our YouTube channel, that is Yoga with Yuktiness. Once you come there, I usually on Saturdays I take a session, by YouTube live classes I take, and my website is yuktiness.com. So yeah, you're most welcome to work with your breath, with your body and mind in sync to achieve, I would say, miraculous results.
Mhm. That's true. Thank you so much, Yukti. I
Thank
will say
you.
this conversation was not just informative, it was grounding. And to everyone listening, if you remember only one thing, remember this: your breath is always with you. And yogic wisdom, breath is the bridge between body and mind, and between stress and stillness. So
Wow.
that's why we, our yoga, our Vedas, our rishis always, teaching back to our breathing. And, with the breathing, you can do the inner mastery. And this may not control life or situation, but you can learn to regulate your inner state. And breathe is the simplest doorway to the power. So thank you, everyone. And let's heal together, align together, and thrive together. I'm your host, Preeti Khan. Thank you so much. Thank you, Yukti.
Thank you.